MIDDLEKAUFF! Hey!
As this week goes on, I think also you get only more confident in the Chiefs. We both watched back the week 17 game today, or I did today. Maybe you watched it back yesterday.
I did today too.
I think I've seen a few opinions out there that Joe Burrow outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game. His numbers were much bigger. Mahomes actually almost threw a devastating pick six at the end of the game that got broken up by his receiver. But I do not think Joe Burrow outplayed Patrick Mahomes. But he was as good as him. And he could have his Josh Allen game this week in the AFC Championship.
Jamar Chase was unreal in that game. I'm with you. I mean, it's just I think the Chiefs kill him. I think they should win by 14 plus points. I would say if somehow Joe Burrow pulls this off, it's one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen. I don't know. I was thinking about it today. I'm like, I thought about that in my head. And I was like, I bet how often, it's not like you're getting 14-point lines in this game. 7 points in this game is massive. How often do you think like Patriots versus the Colts or Patriots versus the Broncos or, whatever the games have been over the decades? Maybe there was one time like Patriots versus the Colts. Remember Luck one time upset some people to get there and his team wasn't as good and they ended up getting killed in the AFC Championship game. But I bet if we look back at that line, maybe it was 6 or 7. 7 is a massive, massive line for a conference championship game. So this is to me about as big as it. Because again, if it was Bills, hell, if it was the Titans, if it was Chiefs-Titans, the Chiefs would be favored, but because they were on the road, what would it be, like -2? Because they would be the road team. Mm-hmm. So this of all the playoff teams in the AFC, I guess if the Raiders would have made it, but as we know, they did not get out of the first round. It's not possible to have a bigger line. This upset, I just can't envision any way that the Chiefs don't, unless like obviously if an injury happens to Mahomes, but if he plays the entire game, they should win this game by several touchdowns. Now, they got to figure out Jamar Chase. I mean, did you look at the box score when you were watching the game? I mean, he had a huge play on 3rd and 27 to get him down to basically at the 5-yard line. It was weird because
that was the catch down the right sideline, the far sideline.
Yeah. They actually got clearly, they started wherever he went out of bounds, I think at the 11, because they got a first down at the 1-yard line. So part of the reason the game ended so weird is they were first and goal from the 1 for the 4 or with the penalties, the 5-6 shots. But they got stuffed 3 straight times, right, when they were handing it to Mixon because Chase got him down there. That play to me where he caught it kind of back shoulder he had a couple where he was wide open. He had the one where he's wide open. He like ran by everyone. It's like, I didn't realize he was that fast.
He looked to me like the best receiver in the NFL watching him in that game.
He was awesome. I mean, that doesn't get much better than that.
No,
I mean,
him and Burrow against Tyreek and Mahomes does have the chance to be incredible. The difference is, right, Burrow is not quite the escaper that Josh Allen is. He got sacked 9 times against the Titans.
Their O-line sucks. The Chiefs got him a couple times, didn't they? They were chasing his ass all game long.
Yeah. Now he's good at like knowing what to do and when to do it. Historically, the Chiefs were a 7-point favorite in 2019 against Tennessee. New England was a 7.5-point favorite against Jacksonville in 2018. Oh yeah, the good Jalen Ramsey team.
Jacksonville was winning that game, guy.
That was a lifetime ago. New England was 7 against when they blew out the Colts in 15.
Did that just throw you off seeing the Jags in the AFC
Very much. New England was an 8-point favorite the year they lost to Baltimore in 13. They were a 7-point favorite the year before when they beat Baltimore in the AFC title. The Colts, this is a good one. The Colts were an 8-point favorite against the Jets in 10. And the Patriots were a 14-point favorite against the Chargers in 08. But
what number? What was the number?
14-point favorite in 08 against the Chargers.
Rivers had a torn ACL.
Who started that game?
Rivers played the game with a torn ACL. Philip Rivers played the game with a torn ACL. I mean, to me, if he's healthy, is that to me is a torn ACL number. That's by far. What was the biggest number you read before that? 8?
No, the 8 was actually. Yeah. Indy the Jets was 8. Yep, that was the other. That's the biggest.
Manning versus Rex.
Yeah.
You have the final score in front next to that
Yeah.
too?
That game was
What
30-17.
They covered.
And the year before, they lost 24-19 to the the next year they lost 24-19 to the Steelers, who were a 4-point favorite.
The Colts.
The Jets. Remember, because Sanchez went to back-to-back AFC Championship.
I was in the car yesterday. I was listening to Sanchez was on with Coward, and Colin's like, "Damn, Mark, looking at your playoff stats, you were pretty good." And then he reads them. He was like 63%, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's like, yeah, if I only just played in the playoffs.
I think I've talked to people who think that Sanchez should have been a better player. Not like he should have gotten more out of himself, that like he should have been in a better situation and turned into a better quarterback than what happened.
Well, I know my guys with the Eagles, he was there. They liked him. He went to the Bears as a backup. Like, I know people that were around him and enjoyed being around him, and he was a good backup for a little while. Chase's numbers, it took me a while to find the box score. 11, 266, 3 touchdowns. Like,
that was the difference because Burrow was over 400 yards passing, right? And I think Mahomes was under 300. Do you have it there, or was he around 320?
He was 26, 35, 259, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was better than that, Mahomes.
Yeah, he wasn't sacked.
Kelsey had a big drop. Mahomes did some early work, and they were up like 20. They were up 21-7 in the first half of that game.
Yeah,
and then 28-14 at the half, right? So
28. They got a late field goal because I think he picked it off or something. It was 28-17 at half, so it was a little closer.
Okay. One other thing I wanted to address as it relates to that game is I did wonder, like, is Zach Taylor going to go toe-to-toe with Andy Reid? And I do have to give Zach Taylor a little credit because I'd forgotten how crazy that game ended back week 17 when they had it 4th and goal at the 1-yard line with first 58 seconds. 4th and goal, 1-yard line, 58 seconds. Zach Taylor, John, decides I'm going for the win. Offsetting penalties so they get a chance to do it again. And Zach Taylor decides again, I'm going for the touchdown, not the win. Obviously, a field goal would have been going for the win. He's going for the touchdown. Okay? So just to recap, tie game, under a minute left, 2 opportunities, 4th and goal. And he goes for the touchdown both times. And both times he fails. And both times he gets another chance because the Chiefs commit a penalty. And then they get a new set of downs. And then he kneels on the ball and then spikes the ball and kicks a field goal. And I thought he was nuts. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
You know what I love about a good still shot? It reminds me of like when ESPN talks about a pay-per-view or when, one of the main broadcasts talk about the Olympics that they don't have. It's like, hey, we don't have the rights. We don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to get flagged. Legalities.
Well, same.
We've been nailed before, so legalities.
But
yeah, you're right. It wasn't as crazy hearing you talk.
Well, it was crazy, but I think what happened to the Bills have validated him a little bit. What happened the next week after that game, week 18 what happened in the first playoff game for the Chiefs validated him a little bit. And even 2 weeks prior to that, listen to what Kansas City's done. 2 weeks prior to that Chiefs game in week 17, Kansas City had not one but 2 fourth quarter game-tying drives that were under 2 minutes against the Chargers. They had a 1:45 drive to tie the game, and then they had a 63-second drive that sent the game to overtime. And then in overtime, they won the toss. Justin Herbert never touched the ball, and the Chiefs scored in 75 seconds.
Wow.
So then Zach Taylor 2 weeks later tries to score a touchdown late, eventually gets lucky, kicks the field goal with no time. 2 weeks go by, and the Chiefs play the Steelers in the playoffs. The Chiefs have not one but 2 scoring drives that took less than 50 seconds. 42 and 32 seconds. 2 touchdown drives against the Steelers. And then, of course, against Buffalo, they have a 52-second drive for a touchdown and a 13-second drive for a field goal. So, like Zach Taylor, not as crazy as I thought.
I'd argue no kickoff return, 13 seconds to get in field goal range, might not be topped moving forward. That might be a record they hold for a little while. No kickoff return. So you're not able to take it to like the 40 or something, right? With 13 seconds left. You started the 25 now? Yeah, 25. I kind of like the 25. It has a little more juice than just the 20.
Yep.
It's like
it's a little riskier to bring it out.
Yeah, you just one like solid 20-yard gain from like, okay, we got something cooking here. When you're at the 20, you get a
I
couple
see
of
what you're
plays.
saying,
You're like, we still got a long way to go.
Yeah. It also reduces the returns just because it's riskier to bring it out,
What do you think about the overtime rule? Someone DM'd me. I was like, this isn't terrible. It's a little, hockey at the end of the game or soccer at the end of the game. Just player safety, overtime, roll the kickers out, start them at the 30 and move them back. First guy misses.
I hate that. You saying you'd rather watch that than Patrick Mahomes lead a game-winning drive?
I'm completely good with the rule. Do you know why Andy wanted to change it? Because 4 years ago when they played the Patriots won the toss, and the Patriots went right down scored.
Well, 10 of 11 teams in overtime, 10 of the last 11 teams in OT that win the toss win the game. 10 of 11. That's a little... My thing is like, wait a second, NFL, why are we shortening this game? Like if Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes want to duel for 2 more quarters, let them duel. Why are we trying to end this game?
You think anyone would have complained if they just would have played another game? You would have ran out of juice, but
by the way, somebody asked, then why'd you kill Staley for all the 4th downs against the Chiefs? No, Staley got killed for one specific 4th down in the 3rd quarter at his own 30-yard line.
Also
35.
got killed against the Chiefs, I think, Thursday Night Football. Went for it at the end of half with no time, 2 seconds left instead of kicking a field goal. They would have been up 17-10, and they ended up being up 14-10. I'm pretty sure they were playing the Chiefs. He did reckless things. No one, Sean McDermott, in the game when we were we alive? When was he going for? Oh, we were recording a video because the Rams had just won. And you looked and you're like, he just went for it. He went for it twice on the first drive. He went for it 4th down on the first drive, and they scored a touchdown. I got no problem setting the tone with some going for it 4th and shorts. There are certain times when you're reckless on your own 20 at the end of a half instead of just taking the field goal when you get nothing. Like, to me, Brandon Staley does not fall under the category. Like, one thing I heard today, Sean McVay, in his career, for known as a young guy, sneaky kicks a lot of field goals and punts. He's not a very aggressive short yardage guy. I do think in this game, is this like on the first drive? Are you just, Sean McDermott, now part of it you're playing Mahomes. They were pedal to the metal in that game. Are either one of these coaches going pedal to the metal? Or if you're Kyle, you're like, let my defense cook? Because the Niners will defer, right? If they win the toss, they will defer the kickoff. That's much as established. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Will the Rams want to get it and score and set the tone?
Not
I can see the Rams want it.
I could see they want to dictate term. Like, hey, we got kind of knocked back last time.